President.
Oh my gosh. I am
Yes.
Madam President, but even more fun, my husband is the first gentleman.
Oh, I like that's got legs. Okay.
Oh,
Yes.
don't you think Alan Simonton embraces that fully? Fully.
I love it. I love
He
it.
would like to be addressed as first gentleman at all times.
Oh.
He put that in the family chat.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
That's his tagline.
That's his tagline.
Well,
So
and so you are substitute Wayne, but
I
you're
am.
also
Yes, Fire Drill Friday.
yes, you
I'm
are
excited.
Michelle Ozzy, my co-host, and the
Good
new
morning.
reigning, defending president of the Women's Council of Dallas. Williams.
It's so hard to say. It's
And I'm
so
the guy
hard
who
to
does
say.
Winning Women's Wednesday.
Yes, yes.
The Women's Council of Realtors Dallas.
Network president for 2025.
There we go. There we go.
It took two people to say it. It is
Yes.
a mouthful.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
And-
fun to watch Ashley on stage Wednesday trying to say it. Like, it's a lot.
It's fun to watch her on stage to do anything.
That's fair.
Yes.
That's fair. She's amazing.
And
yes.
how about that turnout? That was awesome.
Was not expecting that.
Me either.
I was going to be happy if there were just like 10 of us hanging out, enjoying a great meal,
Well, I
and
told
listening
Tanner
to Eli.
that I
It
told
was so
Tanner
good.
that it would be me, you, and Ashley watching Alan paint
Yes.
and listening to Eli.
It was going to be great. It was going to be great
And I
either
was
way.
like, okay, well that's cool enough.
And I was going to wear my dress no matter what. So
There you go.
whatever. It
Well,
was fun. It was a great turnout.
It was very cool.
Yeah,
And it was
thank
cool
you
to
to
see
everyone.
the
Yeah.
the past presidents.
That was a tearjerker.
Yeah.
Yeah, the past president showing up like that in the cold. And, some
Yes.
of them lived far away. Not all of them are still in Dallas.
Because
so
they
made the
have-
trek.
They consolidated WCR, didn't they?
They did. They consolidated, but just a lot of those women have since moved on. I mean, there were presidents from the 80s in the room.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like okay,
Yeah.
that one went right past me. But
Yeah.
yes, that's one of the things I love about, you get into that, I guess, mode, or you get into that universe of, what do you even call that? Like the trade organizations, associations.
Yeah,
it's volunteer. It's not a paid gig. Let's
No.
put it that way.
No.
So first and foremost, it's not a paid gig.
No.
But you get into a groove if you're wired that way.
Yeah.
To where you show up to all these different things, and then you are slowly assimilated to become a part of.
Right.
And then now you're like at the head of the table,
Yeah.
which
And
is, oh, good.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. And what I think is that people don't recognize, they think it's just a sorority or something like that, where we just hang out and have fun. And we do. It's a lot of fun. But, the mission of the organization is to empower women through education and community, which is huge. And as a coach, education is such a big deal for me. And that community piece too, it just helps people grow. And what people don't understand is not only are you getting the education in the community to help you build your business, the referral network is insane.
Yes.
That's where the sorority piece comes in, and it's a benefit. Even Nancy Garcia, one of the past presidents that was there, she was talking about how she had received a referral on the way to the event. So, you can't beat that.
Right. And you can't really map that out, and you can't really tell somebody like, oh, if you do this, this will happen.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that if you don't do that, it'll never happen.
It'll never happen.
There's no guarantees that it will pay off in the way that most people think.
Right.
But,
Right.
Even like last week, I had gone to the, what is it called now? I want to say affiliate committee, but that's wrong. Advisory council.
Advisory council,
Although
yes.
I gotta say, advisory council sounds way more high tone and fancy.
Yes.
I'm a member of
yes.
the advisory council.
Yes.
But I had gone to the meeting for the first time since pre-COVID. And I was like, wow, I forgot about this. Because it's a weird deal, too, where I was doing it for so long. And one of the ironic things, at least for me, was ostensibly you join that sort of universe, network, whatever, to build a business.
Right.
And at the beginning, when you don't have anything going on, you can do a bunch of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
then the ironic part is you actually build a business,
Right.
and then that precludes you going to more events.
Right.
And so you kind of fall out of the rhythm of doing all that stuff. And it was so cool to be there and had a bunch of folks I've known for longer than 10 years.
Yeah.
So like
Julie Jones is
yes,
involved. Yeah.
Yeah. And so like
She's fantastic.
Julie came up on my Facebook memories that day where she sponsored a class that I taught 10 years ago to the
Oh,
day.
wow. That's incredible. That's
Yeah.
cool.
And I thought about like, oh my God, that was 10 years ago.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
I still have Evernote on my phone.
Evernote.
I don't know if I could actually go teach a class on it today, but 10 years ago,
Yeah.
that was the shit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And that, and that's where I think all of these, so you are in the advisory committee for the first time since 2020, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what so many organizations are seeing is we're all kind of in this rebuilding mode.
Yes.
Because people don't know how to act after COVID.
Boy, howdy.
And it's been 5 years now.
Yeah,
and
there are
we're
some folks.
just now kind of getting out of it. So I know, like, for the advisory committees and the different organizations that are involved with MetroTex, Women's Council, all of those things, we're all in this rebuilding process. Like our Women's Council membership in 2019 for Dallas was 243. I'm not going to say what it is now, but it ain't that. It's nowhere near that. And that's a shame. And I think so many of the organizations are the same because people are afraid to step out and get involved again.
Well, and there's this weird thing where you get conditioned to a way of doing something. And then, like for me, it was not that I had forgotten about it. It just never occurred to me to like rejoin or
Right.
it was almost like I've already done that.
It's easy to be isolated.
Yeah. Oh, I'm the king.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Like, yeah, it's just easy. I mean, you go home, you put on your pajamas, and now you don't ever have to leave because
Yeah.
Amazon will deliver everything you want. You could literally stay in your house and never leave. And it's easy and it's comfortable.
Well, and I know a few folks that are like that. And like what you said about the whole COVID thing where for a big chunk of the population, they just kind of snapped.
Yeah.
Not outwardly,
Yeah.
but where,
We've not emotionally recovered.
yeah, that's probably.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, physically we're doing the things and we're working and we understand that we can be out and all of that again. But especially adults, we've kind of settled into what our new habits are, and we're not getting back into community. And it's really not healthy.
Right. And one of the things that I think, okay, so like the flavor du jour is AI. And if you
It
really
can be your friend now.
well, yeah, and
How disturbing
if
is
you really
that?
want to see what like the latest, the flavor of the week is
Yeah.
in any given tech platform, check out what the realtors are doing because there's always
That is so true.
There's no shortage of people that blockchain. Oh, let's
Yeah.
do a class on blockchain.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Fill in the blank. And the
Shiny object syndrome.
yes, and the current one is AI, but it's this weird amalgamation of wanting a shortcut
Yeah.
and all of a sudden being able to, at the very least, exponentially increase your output. So like if I were to say like, I want to blog or
Yeah.
whatever, well, it's like I could have AI do 99% of the heavy lifting and okay, now you have a blog, but it's not really you.
Right. It's not really you. And it's made you feel like you were busy.
Yes.
And that's the big thing is I was coaching someone this week, and the objective was to systemize her processes so that she could get in all the things she wanted to do, and still, because it was, again, a situation of, you need to get out of the house and go meet and do things. And the idea was, okay, we're going to put these things in your calendar that you want to get out and do. And then we're going to systemize these lead generating things. And so we're doing that and we're talking about it. And we have a pretty decent plan together. And then the client starts texting me, well, what if I do this? And what if I do that? Well, you're just adding more things that aren't necessary or going to even be useful and are going to cost you money.
Right. Well, and that whole illusion of busy and, oh my God, I'm so busy.
Busy versus productive.
Yes.
Yeah. What's a dollar producing activity
And
that you're actually doing?
even now, what I was saying about the AI thing,
Yeah.
I think the irony of the whole deal is the people that actually show up in person
Yeah.
or are at the very least able to split time between showing up in person and being genuine doing stuff like this,
Yeah.
where there's no smoke and mirrors
Right.
as far as who you actually are.
Yeah.
That is, if there ever was a shortcut to the connectivity,
Yeah.
it's that.
So Wednesday, it was ice cold.
Yes.
And I was supposed to teach a class for one of our amazing title companies in Weatherford. And we decided, because it was so cold, that it would be especially in Weatherford, it's colder,
Yes.
long drive, all the things. We decided to postpone the class. And I was teaching the class with Glenda White, the mortgage coach.
Yeah.
Shout out to her. She's amazing. And she was doing, I can't remember what she was doing. I think she was doing Google or maybe AI, something like that. Whereas mine was on planning your perfect week, putting your week together.
Yes.
And then, of course, my objective is to connect and interact with people from a coaching perspective. Well, they decided, typically that class has that group 8 to 10 people. Glenda decided to flip hers and just go ahead and do it online, which is great. That doesn't work for me. It just doesn't have, again, it's that personal community, that interaction. 27 people showed up for her online class, which is amazing. Shout out to Glenda. She's a fabulous teacher. But that 27 people would never have come in person.
Right.
And that's a shame, because not only would those 27 people have, gotten the information from her, but now they would have interacted with all of these other people, built a community. What would they have picked up from those people? Because you don't get that on a screen at all.
And that's one of the things, like, I would say to Cruz over there running the board, I would say
We haven't made him laugh yet.
Well, because we're so serious today.
We are serious.
Yes.
I know we got to lighten up here in a minute. Oh my gosh.
But whenever I would tell Cruz, it's like, whenever you don't do something, or whenever you put something out there that doesn't get the reaction, or that you don't do something, or you don't pull the trigger, nobody circles back 6 months later to knock on your door and go like, hey, that time that you didn't go to that thing, you totally missed this, and this that would have been life altering.
Right.
And that's why our kind of internal philosophy is like, we'll do everything once.
Yeah.
And if it sucks, you don't go back. You know what I mean? It's as simple as that.
And it usually sucks the first time because you're nervous. I mean, there's the nerves, and you don't know anybody, and it's different.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about that is, too, now I actually look back on those times with fondness.
Yeah.
When in the moment at Park City's MLS, say, 13
or a real
years ago.
producers event. Those are so daunting to walk into.
Although
I'm getting better.
Although with the RP stuff, I was always on the content side.
Yeah.
So that, like when you're the guy shooting or whatever, and you get the shout out from from this, that's much easier than like, oh, I'm just here.
You're the guy with a camera. We all want to be around you.
Right,
Come on.
Yeah. So like that was always easier than back whenever I was still a mortgage guy.
Oh man.
And I would show up to these networking events.
Oh my gosh.
And that's one of the things. There's no real way to teach you how to do that.
No, because you have to find what's right for you so that it's authentic.
Well, and what is it that Ashley says? She's like, public speaking is the number one fear. And like
public speaking is the number one fear.
Fear of death is like 2 or 3.
Yeah. It's public speaking and then moving. Just like, and when you say that, it's like, why?
Right.
Like, it's not that hard, but it is. It's terrifying.
Yeah, if you reverse engineer, or if you think back to whenever, that was, and you had no network. That's the other thing. Because now, human nature is what it is. I tend to take this stuff for granted.
Yeah.
Like the other night, we're there, and it's like, oh shit, out of all of the, like the baker's dozen of past presidents, I know 9 of them.
You did know just about everybody.
And then you.
Which is so
and then,
fun.
And then Ashley, and then Justin. So it's like, and I told Tanner, I was like, yeah, I guess if you, live long enough and, don't piss everybody off,
you're in good shape.
Yeah. Well, and your friends end up in a place where like, oh, wow, my friends are running shit now.
Yeah.
That was never my intention.
Right.
It wasn't like I was ever trying to come in and schmooze.
Right.
And
you're not a schmoozer.
No, I'm not. I don't have it in me.
It's too hard.
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
And especially if I'm trying to do perception management, which was, like pre-sobriety, perception management was a thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I need everybody to see me in a certain light.
Oh, yeah.
And if not, ... bad things will happen. Or I'll get caught.
Aren't you glad that pre-sobriety for you was also like pre-social media? Can you imagine?
Boy, oh my God. If like, yeah. So like.
Yeah. Like.
Well, just to pull the curtain back, just some things like the field sobriety tests or any of the things that I may or may not have failed.
Well, and that's our whole, like all of us. Like I just think about like Gracie has to be so careful about anything she tweets. And like Gracie's the most politically correct person I've ever met. But she'll tweet something or start to tweet something. Then she's like, oh, I better take that down because I don't want any of the colleges to see that. I'm like, really? But it's true. Like, you have to be so
Oh,
careful.
yeah, absolutely.
Because if it
Although
gets
thankfully-
misinterpreted, you're out.
Thankfully, that is now dying. Because
Yes.
the thing is,
Gosh, yes.
that sort of luxury belief system,
Yeah. Cancel culture.
yeah, it has a shelf life.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, yeah, if you live in a gated community, it's easy to say dumb shit like defund the police or
Yeah.
whatever, where it's like, well, those consequences will never show up at your front door.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely.
But you get all the benefit of being the hero and the good guy who
Right.
says that.
Right.
And
yeah.
the same thing goes for just it's a double-edged sword. You put everything out there, okay, well, then you're putting everything out there to be scrutinized.
Absolutely.
And most people can't handle that.
Right. Right. Because they can't defend it.
Right.
Yeah.
Or they're just not in a place where it's another weird dichotomy where it's like I'm putting all this stuff out for external validation,
Yeah.
but the minute that somebody shits on it,
Criticizes.
oh
Yes.
no,
Yes.
Well, now it's reversed its effect, and now it's not only not valid, it's invalidating you
Yes.
at scale.
Yes.
And thankfully, yeah, I'm like I aged out of that. Don't care.
Amen. Amen. It's a good feeling too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That is the one, or there's a couple of upsides.
Yeah.
To getting older and like being over 50.
Yeah.
I think back and it's like, wow, dude. Although I am self-aware enough to realize that had I been a teenager now, or like whenever you came in, the Mr. Beast interview thing was
Yeah.
on. It's like
Yeah.
I don't know anything about his content other than the thumbnails that I've seen, but I do know that like, okay, if I was 11 or 12, I would have thought that guy hung the moon.
Right.
You know?
Which is
And
disturbing. But yeah. Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
And everybody always thinks that like, oh no, you'd be the aberration that would actually see through the tissue of lies and
No,
that
you would.
you would figure stuff
No,
out.
you wouldn't.
And like everybody thinks they would have been the one that hid Anne Frank
Right.
in the attic. And it's
Right.
like, probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah, because again, human nature is what it is, and the go along to get along, which
Yes.
is how we arrived at the cancel culture thing.
Absolutely.
And it was like, wow. But thankfully, all of those things have a cycle. And then I don't know about y'all, but like for me, the harder things were in life, the less time I had to give a shit about anything
Yes.
resembling a luxury belief or any kind of public opinion.
Yeah.
It's like if everything was a mad scramble to keep the lights on.
Right. Right. You've got bigger things to worry
Yeah,
about.
there are bigger fish to
Absolutely.
fry.
Absolutely.
And now everybody is so isolated. And I wonder how much that plays into it too. Like when you talk about your daughter just being walking on eggshells as far as
Yeah.
digitally
Yeah.
walking on eggshells.
No, absolutely.
It's like the human psyche can't do that forever.
Right.
You can't be like editing yourself 24/7.
And I think it comes also for her with youth. I mean, and she's
Yeah.
a COVID kid. So she's
Okay, so how
She-
old would she been whenever COVID hit?
she was in 8th grade.
Oh my God.
So her freshman year was the year they went back to school. So freshman year of high school. So new school.
Which
And
is
they-
traumatizing enough.
Traumatizing enough. And they had to wear masks that whole year. Remember that?
Oh my God.
Yeah, they had to wear masks for the whole year. So nobody really saw anyone. And it's all new people because she went to a magnet school. So it wasn't like she was at a neighborhood school. Like, so all of these schools had come
Oh, yeah,
together.
yeah.
So it wasn't like she was going with her friends. Most of her friends ended up going somewhere else. Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
I
So
can't even wrap my head around that.
I know. She's actually turned out pretty well adjusted.
Yeah.
All things
Oh my God. Just the fact that she
considered.
was able to come out in public the other night.
She did such a good job. I was so proud of her.
Yeah.
She talked
Absolutely.
to everyone. Yeah, she worked the room. I mean, she was taller than anyone in the room, so she had no choice.
It was like, I was like, whoa, okay.
She's so thin, and it just makes her look even taller. And then she selected those fabulous heeled boots. So, yeah, she was cute. She was definitely cute. So,
She definitely was like point guard, center
yeah,
material.
you didn't miss her for
Yeah.
sure. So,
Wow.
yeah.
I can't imagine that whole thing of just being forced to wear the mask every day.
Yeah.
And just that, and then in a room full of masks. Oh.
Yeah. And then, so her sophomore year, I guess, is when, so the masks came off, but then they had to wear clear backpacks. So, yeah, clear backpacks, which, you kind of put some of yourself and your private things and your personality kind of in the backpack.
Yeah.
Well, they can't do that anymore. DISD and most schools now require a clear backpack for safety, unfortunately, because of school shootings and that sort of thing. So, yeah, her high school career has definitely been interesting.
Just that she is making it out.
Yeah,
You know,
no,
even-
we're very proud of her. But yeah, she's
as a whole human.
yeah, and high school is what it is. Like we all
Yeah,
are
it's
high
ridiculous.
school.
It's a clown car.
Yeah, it's an experience, but definitely for this group that's graduating this year, it has been an interesting ride.
Yeah. Well,
So-
and it's funny because, you know, in our generation, there was the cohort that high school was the peak of their existence.
Yes,
And
yes.
I look
I
back
see
at that.
those people often on Facebook.
I look at that now and I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank God, you know, it was
We had
it
our
was a new fresh hell every day.
It was a new fresh hell every day. Oh my goodness. Yeah. No, we definitely had our own issues and pressures, but very different from what they're experiencing.
Well, yeah, we were
now.
just going to get nuked at,
Yeah.
at any moment.
At any moment.
Yeah, or
and
AIDS.
Yeah.
There was going to be an atomic bomb with AIDS dropped
yes.
on us.
Yes. Like it was just terrifying all the
Yes.
time. So
And so there was an element of that where you grow up in that sort of mindset, but it was analog. It was
Yes.
so
Yes.
loose and, you know,
but now it's all just so public.
yeah.
Anything that you do, good or bad, it's just so public.
Yes.
So
And it always just kind of weirds me out whenever people live in that universe
Yeah.
and then can't handle everyday life in the real world.
yeah. And
You
I think
know?
it speaks to the loneliness epidemic
Yeah.
that we're having.
Yeah, I heard somebody else. I can't remember what one of the many hustle porn
Yeah.
podcasts that I listened to. It talked about, and this is kind of what I was talking about earlier with the AI thing. I think that ironically, the people that do what we do, from the standpoint of the face to face, the networking, because I don't know about you, but for me, it was like such a booster shot where. And Ashley kind of nailed it the other day whenever we were talking. And I said, dude, it was so cool to go back. And then like people that I was like, holy shit, I've known that person for 8 years and that person for 9 years. And man, you remember when we did that thing 12 years ago?
Yeah.
And it was so cool. And I said, yeah, dude, I felt like Napoleon coming back to Paris.
I
you know?
love it.
And she goes, well, you have done a couple of things since the last time you were there. I was like, wow, I didn't even think about that.
Affiliate
know?
of the year.
Well, yeah, well, not even. Well, thank you, but yeah, not that even. No, that's cool. Yes, I love that. But to have started another company and then even just now getting to the place where I'm okay to say like, oh my God, and getting my ass kicked on the first location.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for the first location, this one would not exist.
And that's, people don't recognize that. Like,
Right.
you have to go through, there's no overnight success.
No.
There's just not.
It takes about 10 years.
It takes about 10 years and then overnight.
Yes. Yeah. And it's one of the things I tell the guys that I sponsor in recovery. It's like, it's easy or it's hard until it's easy.
Yeah.
And it truly is like this thing of like, it's hard until it's easy. And then one day you wake up and it's like, oh, that thing that used to be categorically impossible now is nothing.
Yeah.
And then, okay, now on to the next one. And I saw something else, more hustle porn, where it was like, when you get to the top of the mountain, you realize like, oh, that's just a mountain.
There's another mountain to climb.
There's
yeah.
lots of mountains. And even now, like I'm stoked. It was cool to have Tanner out the other night.
Oh my gosh, it was so fun. Oh,
And,
it was
I
so
felt-
fun to have him there.
For a millisecond, I felt underdressed. I was just like, oh shit. But, this is, I have 5 or 6 of these. I have.
Hey, it was cold.
Oh,
It
dude.
was so cold.
I
so,
was double and triple layered.
Yes. Yes.
With the miracle of Amazon,
Yes.
There are a handful of because you read the reviews,
Yeah.
and it's like even now I'm wearing like the for lack of a better term spandex long underwear,
Yeah.
where they're made to just and they're
we
paper
weren't
thin.
made for the cold.
Oh hell no!
No, this is
No.
not my jam.
No, give me like it doesn't need to be over 100, but give me like high 80s.
Yeah, I'm ready.
good.
I'm ready.
good.
I think Sunday it's supposed to be in the 70s. Oh, I
I'm here
cannot
for it.
wait to
I'm
get
here for it.
outside. Oh my gosh.
And thank God, in Texas the winters aren't, barring the ice apocalypse
Oh
from
my
a few
gosh.
years ago.
yeah.
They're not that terrible, but I still hate them.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, it's like I'm a workaholic.
Yeah.
And we are in a seasonal business that no matter how many times the seasons change and all of that every year, it's at some point between Thanksgiving and New Year's, I'm going out of business.
Oh, absolutely. And it's like we forget every year.
Yes.
Like, and it's so you panic and you just start doubling down on everything. And then by
Yes.
January, you're exhausted.
Yeah, well, and now for me, I have this weird thing where the work actually energizes me.
Yeah.
Partly because, and I was talking to Tanner the other day, it's like partly because he and I both had the corporate America background.
Yeah.
Where we went to the thing, went to a place, did a thing, and got a check for
Yeah.
X number of years. And it usually involves a cubicle. And
Every time. Yeah. Or one of those desks.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what
Oh.
I had. I had a desk. Like there was just, it wasn't a cubicle where there were walls, but it was just desks lined all the way back. So you couldn't even really have a conversation. I worked for a company where we sold loans. Yeah.
Oh, like secondary market, like to Fannie and Freddie?
No. This was even outside of the housing industry. We sold like small loans, like $3,000 loans.
Oh, okay.
And so you're making calls and you're doing the solicitations. Well, you would literally, because there was no cubicle, you would almost have to get under your desk so that you could have the conversation so that they could hear you and you could hear them without all the background noise. So
Aye.
yeah, it was fun
Oh,
stuff.
my Lord.
It was awful.
Well, and that also, that sort of almost like a human farm where you go to the thing.
Yes.
And because at
Yes.
one point in time, like the city campus over off of, oddly enough, like 30 seconds away from Metro Texas headquarters.
Oh yeah. Okay.
My first day there in 2008 or 9 or whenever that was, there's like 5,000 people
Oh my gosh.
at that campus. It was everything.
Wow.
Auto, credit cards.
Okay.
Mortgage,
yeah.
the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
And at the beginning, it was like this really cool thing because it's like so busy and it's a
Yeah.
hub and it's crazy. And the food court underneath the main building, it was like the
That
food
was a
court
cool
in the
concept.
mall.
Yeah, that's a cool concept.
And fast forward to the middle of the financial crisis.
yeah, gone.
Only the mortgage people on the second floor of the middle building are there.
Yeah.
So it's me and my cohort, and you go down, and the only thing in the food court is like the pizza guy,
Yeah.
and maybe like a sandwich.
Downtown Dallas has that underneath.
Oh, yeah.
They have the tunnels
When I
underneath,
was-
and there's
when I was-
nothing
yeah,
there
when
anymore.
when I was in high school, my mother worked for B of A
Okay.
at One Main Place.
Okay. Yep.
And I just thought that was the coolest because, like in the
Oh,
80s,
yeah.
that place was jamming.
Oh yeah, all the stuff underneath. There
Yeah.
was so much. It was like a whole little city under there.
Exactly,
But
because-
now it's just desolate. It's
And
weird.
you would go to downtown Dallas, and you're like, what the hell? There's nothing. There's nothing, But then you go down under.
It's like a
and-
secret.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just the coolest.
Just
And
bustling.
so
And
is
yeah,
it
now if you go underneath,
Yeah.
like every now and then you'll run into something that's actually open because there are a couple of them.
Oh.
But it's very desolate. It's
Yeah.
weird. It's
Well, that
really
would be
weird.
creepy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
it
That'd
is.
be like something out of a Dawn of the Dead movie
Yeah,
or something.
because like so underneath the Fairmont is a FedEx hub,
Okay.
and then you go a little bit further, and there's a little juice place. Like there's just, and I don't even know if those are still there. Like it's been a long time since I've actually done that, but yeah, there's a few things here
I have
and there.
not been down
So
there
strange.
probably since the early 90s.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, it hasn't changed under there.
Well, yeah,
the same.
yeah. But I remember, in the mid to late '80s down there, I think there's like a Chili's, there was like a or a TGI Fridays or something. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
it was-
like a whole thing
Yeah.
under there, and
No.
all of your little like convenience stores. There was like a 7. It was
Yeah.
like nuts.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, hadn't.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, that has not come up
Yeah.
in my memory banks in a very long time. Okay, so what's as we start to wind her down?
Right?
Yes.
It's a good conversation.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, very
well,
deep.
and I love just going off the cuff.
Yeah.
Uh,
We should probably lighten things up so we can make Cruz laugh a little bit. There we go. We got a giggle.
Well, after
Victory.
his like pit bull story, I'm like,
Oh
bro,
my God,
he
yeah.
brought the room down.
He did. I think we would have had a much more livelier
Yeah.
show if it weren't for Cruz.
Yeah, we're not gonna go into
keep
the
that off. We won't share.
the horrible canine
Dog
interactions.
stories.
Yes. Oh, my Lord.
Goodness. Hopefully everyone has their dogs inside in this cold weather.
Oh, I
though.
didn't like to think about. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
like back when we were talking earlier, like I was always the ones where like I had the boutique dogs, like
Yes,
the little
yes.
fancy high
Oh,
maintenance
same.
yip yap dogs that you open the back door and if it's cold, they're like,
oh, they step their little foot out and look at you like you did it.
yeah,
Yeah.
like no,
Yes. Yeah.
And so yeah, and as they got older, it would just be like, okay, it's 17 degrees outside. Let's put down some wee pads.
Mine have literally, we call them the two little ones. We call them the twins. And they have literally been sitting butt to butt all week next to the fireplace. Now, they hate each other, but they're going to stay warm.
Hey, compromise.
Yes. And we've put a little blanket down for them because, you know, bless their hearts. And
Yeah.
Gracie will come in and she will point at them and she'll say they used to hunt. I'm like, I don't think these did, but
No.
yes, they did.
Yeah, theoretically.
Yes. So,
Okay, so what's up next?
oh my goodness. Like in life?
Or whatever.
Oh my gosh. I mean, we have a busy weekend coming. One of our friends is having a birthday party.
Yes.
So that's going to be
Yeah,
super
tomorrow
fun.
is like the
Yeah.
is it the World Series of pickleball?
I
Is
think
that-
so. I think so. Are you going to play?
No.
No?
No, let's
Oh,
not
come
let's
on.
not be ridiculous.
So
my,
I have
my flat feet and my Vans are not made for pickleball.
I'm coming to play. Not
Oh.
well. And hopefully I won't get injured. As long as my mouth works and I can be on my phone, I guess I'm good. But
There you
yeah,
go.
no,
Yeah.
I'm coming to play. Like, it's going to be fun. I hope there's cake. I love cake.
I anticipate cake.
I think there should be cake. So yeah, I'm excited for that. It's going to be a fun time. It's going to warm up a little bit on Sunday. I have homework Sunday. I got to write a
Tomorrow's
paper.
indoors, right? That's an indoor thing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I was like, I didn't want to have to come up, you know, like
Make
have-
up an excuse.
yeah,
Yeah.
like having a mystery ill. Oh my
Yes.
God, I just woke
Oh.
up, just oh.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, no, it's been an amazing week. Like, I'm exhausted, but just
Oh,
you
it
know,
is Friday.
I know it is Friday.
It all runs together.
It all runs together. But what a week it's been. Like, and you've had a busy week too.
Yes.
So all of these events have. Luckily, we're on the tail end of them. I love them. They're so much fun.
Same.
But they're exhausting.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff, at least a lot of the stuff that I do, is grueling in the moment, or
Yeah.
just the lather, rinse, repeat.
Yeah.
But it always looks great in the rearview mirror.
Oh, 100%. Oh, that video you did.
Oh yeah, that was.
Stupid amazing.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yes.
that was awesome. And then
I mean, we looked so fancy.
Well, and the horizontal was Tanner's first outing as a video guy at an event. He's like, dude, I never do events. I'm like,
Oh,
"Oh,
he
dude."
did great.
I'm
Great
like,
job.
You know, pack
Get
a
used
lunch.
to it. Yeah, seriously.
Pack a lunch,
Because, yeah,
bro.
we're like events every day.
Yeah. Oh, and there's always something. And the cool thing is, again, what we were saying earlier, you never know what's going to come out of any of those.
No.
Oh,
Who
I-
you're going to
but I-
meet,
yeah.
what you're going to see, what you're going to experience. Like, it's always a good time.
Well,
or
just-
what you're going to eat.
Just, no, the window
Oh,
closes.
yeah. I know. You missed out on a great meal.
Oh, I'll pull the curtain back and confess. I may
Did
or
you
may
eat?
not have left with a filet mignon.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. That makes me happy. Okay, good. Good.
And had it yesterday. When when
Fabulous.
the window was open.
Excellent.
And it was badass.
Good.
So,
Good. Shout out to the caterer. Longhorn
Yes.
Catering. They did a great job. Yeah.
yes,
It was fun.
that was awesome.
Yeah, it was a good meal. They did a great job.
And then next week, 2 Real Producers events that
Two
were
events,
punted
yeah.
because of the weather.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Hallelujah.
looking forward to that.
Yes.
And then I am headed to Florida with Ashley.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're 24 hours in Florida. I don't really know. I am just there to be her assistant and help her out and get her where she needs to go. So wish me luck.
That is your wheelhouse though.
Yes.
And if there was a thing that Ashley needs, it's
God
that.
bless.
It
God
is
bless.
that. And I love that.
Yeah. So we're gonna have a great time.
So I'll just like again the two of you guys together, like the
It's ridiculous.
female Abbott and Costello. Or like
Yes, that is so true. You nailed that. Abbott and Costello.
It
Yes.
it just tickles me to no end.
It's been a year
Yes.
because it started because of Women's Empowerment Month, which is in March. So it's been a year.
Wow.
March 8th.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, of course you have the date
I know
nailed.
the
I
date.
love that. Okay. So then we'll have to do
Yes.
something on the 8th. Yes.
Absolutely.
Hopefully it'll fall on a Wednesday or a Friday.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would
That'd be cool.
Or we'll just do like an emergency show.
We like those.
I do. Oh, well, and again, I love this. And thank you for coming out.
Absolutely. It was a great time.
Yes.
Fire Drill Friday. Let's have a great weekend, everybody.
Yes. And we will see you tomorrow at Pickleball.
At Pickleball.